Based on a series of books written by Lauren Brooke, Heartland centers around the Flemings and the challenge they face as they manage their ranch. The binge-worthy series has warm, sentimental tones and has touched on a variety of themes. As the series expands over multiple generations over the course of 14 seasons, it allows the characters to grow, develop, and mature. And that's exactly what keeps the audience hooked on the series. In the initial season, the main characters, such as Amy and Ty, are in their early teens, but by the most recent season, they're both married and even have a daughter. The audience gets to see all these characters face different challenges in their lives and grow through them. So how exactly has the audience taken to this growth and development of characters? Well, let's take a look at some of Heartland's most loved and hated characters to find out. Before we continue, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon notifications. Let's begin. Number 9. Tim Fleming. Starting with one of the worst characters in the series, Tim Fleming, Amy and Lou's father is perhaps the least liked character in the whole series. Tim is an absent father. During Lou's childhood, Tim spent most of his time at the rodeo circuit or traveling around. He had an unstable relationship with his wife Marion, with whom he kept getting into fights and arguments. After an accident at the rodeo, Tim becomes addicted to pain medication and alcohol. Horrified by Tim's behavior, Jack, Tim's father-in-law, and Amy and Lou's grandfather kicks his son out of the house. Tim only reconnects with his daughters after his wife passes away in an accident. Even when he reconnects, he is often seen guilting and manipulating his children into listening to him. Tim, it seems, brings more trouble to those around him than anything. He's definitely one person who won't be winning Father of the Year anytime soon. Number 8. Lou Fleming. Following right after her father as one of the least liked characters on the show is none other than Lou Fleming. Lou had moved to New York to study, then work prior to his mother's passing. She returns to the Fleming ranch when Marion passes away to help with family and business matters. Even though Lou tries to solve some of the many issues present at the Fleming ranch, she does cause the other characters to sigh in frustration quite often. Lou has a tense relationship with her sister Amy initially when she arrives at the ranch. There are a few bumps along the road, but eventually both sisters find themselves on a smooth footing and are able to get along well. The issue with Lou's character is that she comes off as too intense, controlling, and competitive. It becomes tiring to watch after a few seasons. Lou's character is played by Michelle Morgan. She is most widely known for her character in Heartland and is also known to produce, direct, and write. Number 7. Georgie Fleming Morris. Ranked 7th on the least liked character list, we have Lou Fleming's daughter, Georgie Fleming Morris. Georgie is introduced quite later on in the 6th season of Heartland. She runs away from her foster home and is eventually adopted by Lou and Peter. Initially shown as a stubborn troublemaker, Georgie eventually lets her guard down as she finds a happy and safe home with the Fleming Morris family. Georgie seems to stomp around and throw fits quite often in the show. One might want to give her a chance given her difficult past. However, after some time, it becomes repetitive. For a show that boasts characters with amazing development arcs, Georgie just falls flat with little to no growth in character as the series progresses. Number 6. Mallory Wells. Number 6 on our list is Mallory Wells. Mallory is a close neighbor of the Bartletts, hence she spends quite some time annoying everyone at Heartland. She's quite the chatterbox and harbors a crush on Ty Borden. Mallory's character comes off as quite annoying. She's always trying to butt her nose into everyone else's business. However, her character portrays a realistic, albeit annoying teenage girl who feels like an outsider, even amongst people she considers close. As the show progresses, you see Mallory mature and grow out of the noisy, bratty attitude. Mallory's development saves her from being the absolute worst character, but not enough to keep her completely off the least liked characters list. Number 5. Caleb Odell. Next up, we have Caleb Odell. Caleb is the ranch hand who comes in to fill for Ty while he's gone. Later on, once Ty returns, both Caleb and he fight for Amy's affections. Caleb and Amy form a romantic relationship early on during the show. However, one begins to question the seriousness and sincerity of the relationship as the show progresses. For instance, upon Ty's return, Caleb uses his relationship with Amy to goad on the former, trying to make him jealous. Later on, when Ashley stays at his trailer, it's quite obvious that the two are attracted to each other and flirt with each other quite a bit. When Caleb is out with Ashley and he sees Amy nearby, he shoves Ashley aside, asking her to pretend she hasn't met him. The mixed signals Caleb gives and his insincerity to Amy make him a character who isn't liked much. Caleb may not be the worst character on the list, but he's definitely not the best. Now that we talked about some of the worst characters in Heartland, let's start by talking about some of the more loved characters in the series. Number 4. Lisa Stillman. Starting off, we have the well-liked character Lisa Stillman. Perhaps the reason why her character is liked so much is her association with Jack. The two are close friends, but it's quite clear that there's more to their relationship than just platonic friendship. As the story story moves forward, the two develop a strong understanding and become closer to each other. We see how much Lisa cares for Jack when she gives him a new saddle for his arthritis. She also tries to tell him that he should take more care of himself by sleeping early. Lisa's character is also supportive towards Amy. We see her sticking up for Amy and defending her when others discourage her. It's more than a little disappointing when we have to see Lisa part ways with the characters at Heartland to move to France. Number 3, Amy Fleming. It's no shocker that one of her most loved characters is none other than Heartland's lead character, Amy Fleming. At the beginning of the show, we see Amy as a 15-year-old girl who has just lost her mother. As the show moves forward, we see Amy face various challenges and grow as a person. One of the reasons why Amy's character is so loved is because the audience sees her grow as time passes. She grows from an unsure 15-year-old to a mature 28-year-old. Various aspects of her personality come forward when we see her interact with different characters. Despite the difficulties, we see her as she works out a relationship with her older sister Lou. A softer side of Amy comes forward when we see her interact and form a romantic relationship with Ty. We see a more protective and mature side of Amy when she interacts with her and Ty's daughter, Lindy Borden. Amy really is the heart of the show. It's no wonder some Heartland fans were disappointed when the show's attention moved away from Amy towards Georgie. Number 2, Ty Borden. At number 2, we have Ty Borden. Abused by his stepfather, Ty is sent to juvenile prison after he attacks his stepfather in order to defend his mother from being assaulted. As part of his probation, he is sent to work at Heartland where he meets Amy. At first glance, Ty seems rebellious and arrogant. He seems awkward in the family environment at Heartland, but eventually we see him become more comfortable. Every once in a while, a softer side of Ty peeks out at us from the screen. We see how various characters impact his personality and allow him to grow more. Amy in particular seems to have a massive impact on him, and he's willing to change for the better for her. Not only is he genuine and loving, but he's also protective of the people around him. One can't help but love his character. Number 1, Jack Bartlett. Perhaps the most loved character in the whole series is Jack Bartlett, Amy's grandfather. He's like a father figure to Amy, offering her advice and support when she needs it. Jack supports Amy, but also stops her when she's pushing too far. He's a confidant for Lou and often acts as the peacemaker when the two sisters butt heads. We see how, even though Jack is reluctant to trust Ty at first, he eventually softens up to Ty and accepts him as part of his family. What makes Jack's character more likable is that he's willing to look past the flaws of other characters. Even with people like Tim, Jack chooses to be the bigger person and put behind the happenings of the past. If Amy's character is seen as the life of the show, Jack's character is what holds everything together. He's the glue stick that holds the Bartlett-Fleming-Morris-Borden clan together. Given the long runtime and the big cast that Heartland has, it's nice to see some well-fleshed-out characters that develop as the show moves forward. Which Heartland characters are your most and least favorites? Let us know in the comments below.